Kraven the Hunter. One of Spider-Man's most formidable foes in the comics, is known for his exceptional hunting skills, superhuman strength, and a deep desire to prove himself as the world's greatest big-game hunter. Created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, Sergei Kraven made his first appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man 1964. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay up to date. For those who are unfamiliar with Kraven the Hunter, Kraven the Hunter is a formidable and iconic antagonist in the Marvel Universe, particularly known for his encounters with Spider-Man. His real name is Sergei Kraven, and he's not your typical big-game hunter. Kraven possesses superhuman strength, heightened senses, and exceptional tracking abilities. He sees Spider-Man as the ultimate prey and is driven by a relentless determination to prove himself as the world's greatest hunter. This movie will be coming in 2024. Sony Pictures have already dropped the trailer. If you haven't seen it, I will give you link in description. So, let's break down the trailer. The trailer doesn't exactly tell you everything you need to know about Kraven the Hunter, but it does offer an intriguing sample platter of the brutal character's personality and power set, as well as hints at who his allies and enemies will be. Don't expect any Spider-Man here, though you might see a few spiders. But there's plenty else. So let's unpack the biggest revelations and most interesting details we've learned thus far. While the trailer suggests that Kraven's powers are similar to the comic book version, the way he acquires them seems to be pretty far removed from what fans are used to. Instead of the herbal serum that gives him powers in the comics, the implication here is that Kraven gets his power boost from lion blood. An accidental blood transfusion with a large cat seems like an odd origin story, to say the least. It seems that the trailer is deliberately missing a few steps in the process, possibly to avoid revealing major plot points. Or, hey, maybe the lion just happens to be radioactive. If there's one Spider-Man villain with an exceptionally spotty track record in cinema, it's the Rhino. This behemoth of a foe has appeared a few times in various movies, with a version portrayed by Paul Giamatti, briefly popping up in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and a couple of multiversal variations getting cameos in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The final moments of the trailer introduce audiences to Alessandro Nivola's take on the Rhino. Though viewers don't get to see him go full beast mode, they do witness him activate his powers by way of a self-applied injection, giving him his signature tough gray armor. Now, the comic book Rhino does have super strength derived from a chemical treatment, but he's still always, at his core, been a guy in a high-tech suit. This version, it seems, is more akin to the ultimate version of the Green Goblin. Sony's Marvel movies have generally delved into darker and more graphic subject matter than their Marvel Cinematic Universe equivalents. Tom Hardy's Venom literally eats people, for crying out loud. But the franchise has nonetheless remained firmly rooted in PG-13 territory. In the trailer, we see that Kraven is hunting for one reason. My father puts evil into the world. I take it out. Since this is an origin story, we can assume this mostly occurs before he turns into the brutish hunter hellbent on catching his most pursued prey, Spider-Man. However, in the comics, Kraven is a depraved man, beaten in childhood by his alcoholic father, and who, in turn, beats his half-brother. He turns to big game hunting and downs every coveted animal on his list before turning his attention to Spider-Man. Since the superhero represents the animal that haunted his dreams since his mother's time in an asylum, it becomes a personal mission. While the scene could just be an Easter egg that's been included to please fans of the comics, it's clearly done in homage to Marvel's Kraven's Last Hunt storyline. This tale chronicles the titular villain's attempts to dispose of Spidey and take his place, and it's widely regarded as one of the best stories in the Spider-Man archives. Furthermore, the scene in the trailer is a reference to Web of Spider-Man lore 31, which features a panel that depicts Kraven munching on arachnids as they cover his entire body. It symbolizes Kraven's obsession with consuming his superhero nemesis, but in reality, the obsession with Spider-Man really consumes him. Considering the unidentified man says Mr. Taglin a total of 3 times, it certainly seems like he's important, and another Taglin was referenced in Venom. In that movie, Lee Taglin is an employee at Michelini and McFarlane, who works with Anne Wying, Michelle Williams, aka Venom's ex-fiancée. This is the law firm that represents the foundation responsible for capturing the symbiotes that ultimately gave Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy, his powers. It's possible that the Mr. Taglin whom Kraven killed is the same one who worked with Anne. After all, why else focus on the name so much? Or perhaps it's someone who's related to Lee Taglin, or an entirely different person. Either way, a connection certainly seems likely, especially given how often Taglin's name is mentioned in the scene. The movie is directed by Jeffrey MacDonald Chandor, better known as J.C. Chandor. The movie is expected to be released in October 2024. And that's about it. The anticipation is real, and we can't wait to see how this iconic character is brought to life in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What are your hopes and expectations for the Kraven movie? Share them in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going. If you find this video informational, give it a like and subscribe to this channel. This will help me improving my content. Until next time.